Hi, this is Ryan, and I'm the content creator for East to West, West to East, and I'd like to welcome you back to...
Yeah, we're doing so great.
We're just gonna roll with this. So today, I'm interviewing my older brother, Troy, and my younger brother is sitting behind the camera, and he's probably gonna make a lot of comments. He was in our last interview series, so we're just gonna roll with this one because this one's gonna be comedic. That's just how it's gonna be. So Troy, do you have an Instagram page? Not here right now.
Yeah, you could throw it in there.
So Troy can be followed on Instagram at tacticalhotdog101. So we're just gonna go ahead and take a dive right into that one.
So it's a funny story behind the tactical hot dog.
There's actually a story.
There is a very funny story. So we were, I'm at the Vermont National Guard, and I was at a range one time, and we had this truck that goes around and delivers food to us. Usually it's like popcorn and hot dogs, some sort of candy snack or whatever. And I decided that since I wasn't on the range actively, engaged and hitting targets, that I was going to grab a whole bunch of hot dogs. The only problem is I didn't have a real good way to carry them, so I was tucking them into my molly gear, into the magazine pouches. And some active duty sergeant major walked up to me and wanted to know what I had in my pouches, and I was just like, hot dog. So that's where the tactical hot dog came in, because I was telling everybody that I had tactical hot dogs.
And there you have it. He had a pocket full of hot dogs, and that's how he became the tactical hot dog.
Pocket full of hot dogs.
So Troy is the oldest of the three of us, and he has definitely had his fair share of experiences with vehicles, just like my younger brother who was in the last video. Much more extensive and all over brands than the rest of us have been. So if you get a sip of your coffee there, he actually is drinking coffee this time.
It's just regular coffee.
So we're gonna have him discuss a little bit about his first vehicles.
Oh boy. So yeah, my first vehicle ever was a GMC Sonoma.
Low budget S10.
Mm-hmm.
That was before GMC was better than Chevy.
So I remember this vehicle, especially because it originally belonged to my grandfather, then went to my Uncle Brian, who used it to move furniture and stuff around for his moving business, and really he just beat it to death. So this truck was pretty well, clapped at this point. It had seen its finer days, long since by. So I got it, and it immediately started to have issues with overheating and the four-wheel drive, and there's a slew of issues with the truck. So me and a couple buddies decided one raft race that we were going to put a whole bunch of duct tape on it and spray paint it. And
just to give a little bit of context, we do have this incredibly over-the-top social event referred to as the raft race, which is the concept is people build their own rafts and they go down the river. There are prizes, and it's pretty much just it's a big party, is what it is. It's a townwide party. It's a fun time. It can be a fun time.
Unless you're in the water.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually done in like April. May. Yeah, May. So it's cold. It's cold, man. That's all we gotta say about that. And you bought this Sonoma. You bought it for like $100, right?
Yeah,
like it wasn't like
$100. I bought it off of our Uncle Warren for about $100,
and weren't the brake lights perpetually on?
the brake lights were perpetually on.
Yeah, the brakes.
They never went out.
Yeah. It was.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
People never tailgated me.
Exactly. They always thought he was going under the speed limit. So continue.
So yeah, we kind of decided that we were just going to do whatever we wanted to because it was really just a piece of junk. But it was my daily driver, so I had to drive around with a bunch of middle finger spray painted on it and a whole bunch of duct tape middle fingers and Bridgewater Engine 3 because I was a volunteer firefighter at the time. And yeah, it was just a. But the thing I remember most about that truck is that when you put it in four-wheel drive, you'd go for about maybe 30, 40 feet, and the four-wheel drive would slam and propel you forward at like warp 2. And it was the scariest event on an icy road, I will tell you, because next thing you know, you go from being in control to being on skis. It's like,
just to reiterate too, this was the truck that they fixed the 4-wheel drive linkage with a coat hanger, correct?
yep.
Okay, yeah. There are some very impressive professional mechanics in our hometown.
we did a lot with that. But no, that was the first one, and I remember the day we drove it over to the junkyard.
Yep, I remember that.
It barely made it.
Yeah, we put a battery in it that was not correct for a car, and if you had a blinker light on, all the other lights would turn off. It's amazing what we got away with. Anyways, if any state troopers are watching, we definitely did not drive that on a main road. So where'd you go from the Sonoma, Troy?
I actually went to a 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo.
Oh, no, you haven't been doing that.
Did I have one in between that?
Was it the Dodge in between that?
No, the Dodge was after that.
Oh, okay.
The Dodge was directly following the Jeep.
Gotcha, okay.
So the Jeep was a tank. I love the Grand Cherokee. I love even the modern Grand Cherokees. You know, the from 2019 on. I really do like the newer models as well. But this thing was a beast. Had that auto select 4-wheel drive. It was absolutely awesome for getting out. Like we took it around some old snowmobile trails and Jeep trails up around our area up near Killington, and that Jeep just went everywhere. It was such a reliable vehicle. I never had any complaints about it. I replaced a motor and a transmission in it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the radiator blew, right?
Yep. And that was really, everything else on it was solid. Yeah, I drove that thing for a good 2.5 years.
Yeah, that was a solid rig. And then you definitely stepped down and then back up from there. We mentioned the Dodge Dakota. We're gonna skip over that one because there's too many stories for that one.
Yeah, that truck.
If you like to steer, I would stay away from a Dakota.
Yeah.
So then we'll jump over, and then you started to get into newer vehicles, and you went from there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got into a 2012 Chevy Silverado. That was the first newer truck I actually bought from a reputable dealership. I know that that's kind of a contradiction in terms when it comes to a lot of used car salesmen. Sorry if anyone's a used car salesman. I love you guys. But it was I really learned in that moment that you can't fall in love with the look of a truck. You really gotta know about it. You gotta know what you're looking for, what you want it to be able to perform as, And I really didn't quite look into that enough. So first thing I noticed was we had over 40,000 miles on it, and I would get this random bump in the transmission and stuff, and it just ended up being a snowball effect. One thing turned into many different things, and more than once it had left me stranded on the side of the road. Eventually, I got really tired of paying for brakes. Anybody who drives a GM product, especially pre-2015, you're going to chew through your brakes, especially if you're me and are towing a trailer that's way too big for your truck.
Although it was hilarious to watch you drive by with your 1500 with a, what was that, like a 20 footer?
4-foot dump trailer.
Full of metal.
Full of metal. Up over Killington Mountain because I wanted to make $20.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I want to mention is we're definitely going to get some various different types of guests on here. And Troy is, he's a very intelligent person, but he's not necessarily a mechanical-minded person. He did not fall in love with laying on his back working on cars. So that's why I wanted to bring him on to kind of discuss more of the enjoyable times that he's had around the off-road, natural, and mechanical world, rather than what he has accomplished and what he wants to accomplish. So going from that point, why don't you discuss some of the destinations that your vehicles have brought you?
So a lot, like I've, sorry, we have technical difficulties with the cameraman. He hit a wall. So, what do you mean by that? Are you like where I've gone, what I've done, or that kind of a thing?
Yeah, just like the destinations, right? Like we know what you've taken your journeys in. Now, where have you? Just kind of riff off from your experiences, I guess. Like you mentioned, like taking the drives up around like Killington Mountain and such like that, you know.
So I'm a big outdoors guy. I love hunting, fishing, being out in the woods. I love running a saw, although I'm not very good at it. As I've proven in the past.
What's the name of yourself?
I named my new Husqvarna Trella. Sorry. Also named my last truck Trella. It's a recurring thing. So no, I've always, every time I look at a vehicle and I go into a vehicle, I want something because I look at a particular set of things. One, is it going to have a reliable four-wheel drive? Is it going to be able to get me out to like our camp? And hope he edits that part out. Did you just break down and laugh? I don't know what's going on. Do I have something on my face? I've been trying to reel in the Vermont accent while doing this because I've realized a lot of people can't understand what I say.
Okay, continue. I apologize.
Sorry, old theater thing.
Yeah, because you were in the theater.
No, I never was in the theater. I just got yelled at by a football coach who was the theater director.
Very influential person, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. So I love being outdoors, as I was saying. Any vehicle that can get me out,
Keep going.
This, if we were on the radio, we would call that dead air.
Keep going.
I'm trying. I lost my words.
Hey, this one, I'm just gonna pose it.
Oh boy. So growing up in the Northeast, there's snow on the ground. I love playing in the snow. Actually, I fell in love with plowing. When I was at my current job, one of the grounds team managers asked me to, if I would help him out, and he taught me how to plow snow. And I fell in love with it after that. So anything outdoors, when I look for in a truck, it's something I can play around in the snow. Good four-wheel drive. I like the, I want a truck to be able to take me up to Killington, hit a trail.
Do you ski or snowboard? I ski Killington a lot.
I love the Killington area, but I am a really, really bad skier. Oh. Did they want to hear the Suicide 6 story?
You made him a child, right?
Yeah, I mean.
That's perfect.
All right, it's been more than 7 years, so I am not the terms and limitations.
That means the child is 9 now. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do have the other side of this story, we would love to hear it.
So I was skiing Suicide 6 in Woodstock, Vermont. It's actually from Pomfret, Vermont. But I'm a really bad skier. I'm also not a small guy. So when I pick up speed going down a hill, I sometimes can't figure out how to slow myself down. The whole pizza thing and French fries thing. If you're a skier, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I do the pizza all the way down because I'm too scared to do anything else.
And when he gets to the lodge.
And when I get to the lodge. So I'm coming down what's known as Easy Mile. Easy Mile should be a total, it should give itself away. It's the easiest trail on the mountain. Well, I picked up speed and I'm coming around the corner and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And there's a kid just learning how to ski in front of me, and I like go right over top of the kid, and I end up in the trees. And I'm like, one arm over my head, one ski down that way. There's a pole somewhere out in the boom gigglies. Boom. Okay, that's a Vermont term.
I've never heard that term before in my life.
Neither did I. I think I just made it up.
I think you did too.
But
I think it's a mixture of boondocks and giggly reeds.
so I'm like getting up all tangled, and I'm just like, oh, what did I hit? And I see this kid crying in the snowbank with a ski patroller around him. I'm just like, oh, I gotta go. I got up. I'm trying to ski on one ski, and I keep falling down. I find my other ski halfway down the trail, and I click that thing back on. Still missing a pole. Ski down the lodge, turn my skis in, and go sit by the fire. I'm just like, no, I'm done for the day. Don't worry, no children were harmed in the making of that story.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, when you have a 240-pound man coming down a hill at Mach Jesus, you'll know that.
Mach Jesus. That's about as fast as they were able to go in 0 BC.
He's making fun of me because I'm old.
No. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your hobbies now? We noticed you've become very interested in the idea of smoking your meats.
Yeah, I've become really interested in it's butchering from the start to finish. Getting a good cut of meat from the store, from your local butcher. That whole process of basically from farm to table. That's something I'm very interested in. I try to go with a lot of our local purveyors in this area. We have a great local butcher. I really fell in love with the process. It's awesome to do, and being that it's winter and there's not exactly a whole lot to do if you're not a good skier or snowboarder or have a snowmobile. It really comes down to what you can do, and I really enjoy winter smoking because it presents its own different challenges, getting the heat right, and so that's something I've become very interested in.
Just to speak to this point too, Troy makes a really good point. The smell of wood smoke is definitely a sign of the season change in the state of Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling down the road and being able to smell wood smoke is it means that winter has reached New England for us anyways. So him being able to use different forms of wood and to bring that into smoking meat, it does really change the face of something that we have grown accustomed to throughout our time. It is a pretty cool pastime. He's actually very good at it. I would not be surprised if he starts his own YouTube in the future about his mustard binding.
I've learned from some of the best YouTubers out there, and if anybody's ever interested in doing something like that, YouTube is your best friend. You can watch a video. There are some guys out there who actually do live video. So as you're doing this, starting the smoking process, you have everything you need, and he's right there with you every step of the way. And the best way I've approached anything in my life is you learn by doing it. If you mess up, you mess up. But every time you mess up, you're going to be a little better for the next time.
Exactly. All right, Troy. So, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Not particularly. No.
All right. So, I appreciate Troy coming on the show today. We had a great discussion about the longevity of vehicles, smoking meats, and what not to do when you're going down Easy Mile. Next week we'll continue to talk to another person or whoever agrees to be on the show about automotive or anything else. I appreciate you coming and checking it out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out to either of us. Again, I'm on Instagram at east to west, west to east, and Troy is on Instagram at tactical hot dog 101. I appreciate it. Thank you.